Hello, my name's Will. I'm here with Mike. We're the Tabletop Donkeys.
Hello.
And we have for you today another episode of Warhammer 40k Conquest, where we look through the magazine briefly and then get on to the battles that come with it. And we've got issue 12 today, and the model you get with this is the first Death Guard character, the Foul Blightspawn, who has a fairly stupid name as far as I'm concerned, but that's going to be a running theme with Death Guard characters. They all have stupid names. But I think he's one of my favourite models in the Death Guard range because he basically has a gigantic fire hose of shoots goop, and he's quite good. So we'll see that coming up in the battles. But having a look through the magazine first, we've got information about what they are, foul Blightspawns, and then something about the Death Guard armoury. Apparently the Death Guard like biological and chemical warfare, so hence the weird grenades and shrunken heads and all sorts of other nastiness. More Death Guard colour schemes, which you'll note are some more variations on green and beige, a bit grey. More stuff about the god Nurgle and his sacred symbols, god of disease. How to build the Foul Blightspawn, who is he's not easy to build. He's not in the easy to build range, but he's not particularly difficult to build either. But you do need glue to build him, and then how to paint him, which is fairly predictable if you've been paying attention to the Death Guard painting instructions that we've had previously. It's pretty much the same with a couple of extra bits. And then we get to the first mission for this week, Spread the Blight.
So here we are with our first mission this episode, Spread the Blight. The Foul Blightspawn has entered the cargo deck of the Blade of Novaris, and Cassius is rallying his troops to stop them. You can see there his intercessors and his reavers. And our new rules this week, we've got the rules for the Foul Blightspawn. So unfortunately our issue has been quite badly proofread. You can see it says here he only has one close combat attack and one wound. We're going to use the actual proper rules for him, where he should have 3 melee attacks and 4 wounds, otherwise it'd be a bit difficult for William. We also gained rules for crack grenades, you can see down here. And we also learned about strength and toughness. So you can see in the unit profiles models of their actual strength and toughness values. So this affects what you need to, how you work out what you need to wound someone. You use the strength of your attack against the toughness of the opponent. And that will become very relevant because the Foul Blightspawn's weapon has a variable strength, so he has to roll 2d6 for the strength value after choosing the target, and he gets to roll how many hits he gets, and the auto hits like the aggressors do. So it's fairly simple new rules this week. We'll head straight into the mission. You can see the Death Guard have to deploy first, then the Space Marines, and then the Death Guard get to go first. So there you can see the Foul Blightspawn has deployed on the far left deployment marker, or William's right. So I have to deploy all of my units within 2 inches of a single deployment marker. So I'll put the intercessors on the left flank, Cassius in the middle, and the reavers on the right flank. And the Death Guard get to go first, so we'll head into Death Guard turn 1.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an advance move, I'm going to roll my dice, and then I'm going to decide what to do depending on what number I roll. So we're going to do that. Oh, 1. Okay, I'm probably not going to do anything particularly exciting. So given that not fantastic advance roll, I'm just going to move him up behind that box, like that.
And you can't see anyone to shoot, too far away to charge, on to Space Marines turn 1. So there you can see I've moved up my forces behind the red cargo container, and since we can't see you behind that box over there, we're going to go straight to the charge phase, and the reavers are first going to declare a charge. So we measured and they need a 10, so they need to roll well. Not with a 6, they won't get in. And the intercessors will also try and charge you around the other side, and not with a 7. So that's the end of Space Marines turn 1, on to Death Guard turn 2.
So once again, I'm just going to roll my advance and see how many inches I can get out of it. Oh, an extra 4 this time, so that gives me a little bit more leeway to see what I can do.
Up to 9 inches.
Yes, and my Plague Spewer has a 9-inch range, I believe.
Yes, it doesn't actually say that in the magazine, but we're going to use the proper rules for him that we know.
So I'm actually going to bring him just to about here. Just on the... I'm actually a little bit away from the edge of the board, so you can see the reavers. Well, it's difficult. It's wherever he goes, he'll be able to try and get a charge without any overwatch. but I'm trying to make it as long as possible so that I might be able to fail it, but I can still see those reavers over there. So it's difficult because I don't want to get trapped against the board edge or against a box or anything like that, but this is the compromise I've come up with, not having unlimited time to think about it, so we're going to go with this. On to the shooting phase, and I'm going to shoot at the reavers because I can see them. I'm going to shoot this.
With your plague sphere, not a crack grenade, I see.
Not with a crack grenade, no. 2d6 strength.
So strength 5.
Not as good as it could be, but not awful.
And then 1d6 automatic hits.
5. Well, that will do.
And then, so it's strength 5 and their toughness 4, so it's winning on 3s.
Indeed. Oh, 5 wounds.
And that's 5 plus, 6 plus, sorry, armour saves. Made 1. So each one does a d3 damage, so you have to do them all individually.
Yep. So the first one does 1 damage.
So a reaver takes a wound.
The second one
is irrelevant because the wounded man
is irrelevant, so
goes
it does
down.
2 damage, but he dies.
And then the third one.
Oh, and he does 1 damage.
Does 1 damage, and then the fourth one will kill the other reaver. So actually, I'll take the sergeant away because he's the first back.
Yeah, so that's slightly unlucky, but that's it. And then I'm not going to declare any charges, I don't think. So it'll be on to Space Marine's turn.
Space Marine's turn 2. So in my movement phase, you can see the remaining reaver has moved up to he's going to bravely attempt to charge if anything else. The intercessor have moved around the box to get a clear line of sight, and Cassius has moved as close as he can get to the box while staying behind cover and out of line of sight. So we'll head into the shooting phase. First, this reaver is going to throw a crack grenade at you. Yeah, everyone's within 6 inches of Cassius still. So he's got 1 attack, hitting on a 3. He hit. Wounding on a 3, re-rolling 1s. 6 is enough. So we have a 4 plus armour save.
No.
And d3 damage. Only 1, so 1 to resilient.
Nope, that is a wound.
Takes a wound and he's down to 3. And from the intercessors, Sarge will throw a crack grenade as well, and the other 2 will fire their bolt rifles. So crack grenade from the sergeant, hits. Wounding on 3 rolling 1s, it wounds. 4 plus armour save.
Yes, I made that one.
That'd be important. And then there's 4 shots from the bolt rifles hitting on 3s. 4 hits. Wounding on 5s, you're rolling 1s. Only 1 wound.
3 plus arm save. Passed.
So onto the charge phase. Cassius will declare a charge first. So we measured, and he'll need at least a 5 to get in. So don't miss by 1. And of course he missed by 1 and got a 4. So of course the Foul Blightspawn auto hits in Overwatch as well, so charging him is quite dangerous. Now the intercessors will declare a charge next so you can Overwatch.
Right, so I roll strength first.
Yes.
So the strength of it's going to be 8 this time.
So it's going to be winning on 2s.
And it gets only 1 shot.
1 hit.
Only 1 automatic hit. So it's wounding on a 2. It is. So
it's a 6 plus armour save. Well, it didn't make it.
And 3 damage though, so it takes out 1.
The man at the back goes down. Oh, 1's in the box.
Yeah, then.
Phew. So they'll get around him to be within an inch, and then the reaver will also declare a charge, and he'll definitely be in with that. So I'll pile in with the intercessors, so they'll fight first.
Trapping him against the board edge there, so he can't fall back unless he kills somebody.
So they have 2 attacks each. So we've got 4 attacks hitting on 3s. Oh, they all hit. Wounding on 5s, you're rolling 1s. 2 wounds there.
Armor saves, passed both.
And then the reaver gets to go. He has 3 attacks hitting on 3s, 2 hits. Wounding on 5s, you're rolling 1s. 2 wounds. He's mad about his dead friends. Oh, he's definitely mad.
2 down, 2 failed armor saves, so 2 disgustingly resilient. Oh, passed both of them.
Passed both of them instead.
Funny way it works, isn't it? Right.
And now the Blightspawn gets to fight back.
He does, and he's going to hit the... It's going to be the intercessors. So I'm going to try and hit the intercessor.
Okay. So he has 3 attacks hitting on 3s.
That refuses to sit flat. It's 2 hits. Wounding on 4s.
Yep. Not re-rolling 1s because he doesn't have a plague weapon.
No, so that's a wound.
1 3 plus armour save. Made it. And that's the end of Space Marines turn 2, on to Death Guard turn 3. It's going to be straight to the fight phase, I imagine.
It is.
So you're attacking the Intercessors again?
Yeah. Same as before. 2 hits. 2 wounds.
3 plus armor saves. Failed 1, so an Intercessor takes a wound. Well, yeah, so we'll do everything at once, so because we all have the same strength. So and chance of hitting, so we've got 7 attacks between my 3 Marines, hitting on 3s, 6 hits, wounding on 5s, rerolling 1s, so it's 4 so far, 4 wounds.
Armor saves, made all of them.
Yeah, he's fine.
No damage.
And then it's straight on to Space Marines turn 3. So in the movement phase, Cassius is going to move to be an inch away. And then we've got 3 pistol shots from the 3 other Marines. Hitting on 3s. It's 3 hits. Only on 5s, rolling 1s. No wounds. In the charge phase, Cassius will declare a charge.
Oh, he's in.
Oh, he's in with a 6. Finally got there. So Cassius charged. He gets to fight first. He has 4 attacks, hitting on 2s. 3 hits. Wounding on 5s, rolling 1s. 1 wound, 1 6 plus armor save.
Nope.
And 5 plus resilient.
Nope.
So it's down to 2 wounds. And then it's my turn, so I get to pick who fights next. So the Intercessors will go. 4 attacks hitting on 3s. Only 2 hits. Hitting on 5s, rolling 1s. There's 1 wound. 3 plus armor save. Passed it.
My turn to pick. I'm going to... Oh, I know, yeah, we'll attack the Intercessors again, although the placement now is not ideal, but...
3
hits. 2 wounds.
3 plus armor saves.
Oh.
Failed both. So the wounded man goes down. And Sarge is down to 1 wound. And then the Reaver gets to go. 3 attacks hitting on 3s. 2 hits. Wounding on 5s. Rolling 1s. Or 2 wounds.
1 failed save.
1 resilient.
No, he's down to 1.
And that's the end of Space Marines turn 3, on to Death Guard turn 4. And still stuck in the fight phase.
Yes, despite that good roll, I still can't get out through this gap, so never mind. We're just going to attack the Intercessors, try and finish off Sarge.
Yep. So 2
2
hits.
hits.
No wounds.
No wounds.
And now, well, start with Cassius, because I get to fight back with all my guys. We've got 4 attacks hitting on 2s. 4 hits. We're on 5s, rolling 1s. 3 wounds. 3 6 plus armor saves.
666. 1
1.
6, so I need to make both of these to survive.
No,
Not quite.
goes down.
So there he goes.
And victory for the Space Marines. So it's quite a challenging mission with just the Foul Blightspawn, because how heavily outnumbered he is. We did kill quite a few people though.
Well, it's tricky to manoeuvre him in a way that he's not going to get charged, but
Yeah, so
nearly got away with it. But.
we'll recap that at the end and we'll head into the second mission for this issue. So here's our second mission for this week, Burn the Bomb. And in this mission there's an objective in the middle of the board representing a virus bomb which the Space Marines have to destroy. And they can destroy it by moving an aggressor. As you can see, we're using the aggressors instead of the intercessors. An aggressor has to make it into base contact with the virus bomb and stay there for an entire battle round. And we've got a 4-round limit. Meanwhile the Death Guard have to protect the bomb for the 4 rounds. It says eliminate all enemy models, but the aggressors are the only models that can complete the objective, so I mean technically you'd win if you did that. And you can see our forces here. The Foul Blightspawn is joined by a horde of 12 Poxwalkers, while Cassius has swapped out his intercessors for the aggressors. Although down here in the hints block it does mention using the intercessors' ranged attacks, so either that's bad proofreading, we're going to go by what it says in the army box. And onto the second page, we've got some extra rules as well. The Foul Blightspawn has a Unholy Death's Head, which is a special grenade attack that he or one of his friends can use once a game, which is basically a blight grenade that does 2d6 hits instead of 1d6. He also has a Revolting Stench, so if an enemy unit charges is within 7 inches of the model at the start of the fight phase, they don't get to fight first, as if they'd charged. Although presumably you can still pick them to fight. They just don't get to fight first for charging. And meanwhile, Space Marine Sergeants say here they have an extra Iraq. I don't know what an Iraq is, but straight down here it says they actually have an extra attack in hand-to-hand combat. So now the Reaver Sergeant has 4 attacks, the Intercessor Sergeant has 3 attacks, and the Aggressor Sergeant has 3 attacks. As you can see here, these extra rules under the fact box header. So that's it for the extra rules. We'll head into mission now. So we haven't been given any alternate deployment or who gets to go first for this mission, so we're just going to use the same ones as the previous mission. So you can see that William has deployed all his forces on his side of the board, all around his point markers, so the Poxwalkers presumably going to advance onto the objective, which is very slightly closer to my side of the board, and the Foul Blightspawn is going to follow behind them. So my deployment's very similar to the previous mission, except we have the Aggressors on the left flank, Cassius in the middle, and the Reavers on the right flank. And once again the Death Guard gets to go first, so Death Guard turn 1.
So the Poxwalkers are going to advance. They've rolled 2, so they get to go 6 inches.
So the Poxwalkers have moved up, and now the Foul Blightspawn.
He's going to advance as well. He's a bit faster. He rolled a 10, so he's going to come around here like that. But so he's overlooking the objective, but he's staying a little bit further back. That's it for my turn.
Yeah, on to Space Marines turn 1. So we're on a tight time limit. We're going to be fairly quick about this. The Aggressors are going to advance, and they roll a 5. So that means they can move 10 inches. So they can actually get beyond the objective, and only one of them has to be on it. So we're going to move.
Yeah, stay away.
Oh yeah,
away from my
we have to be still have to be an inch away, of course. So there we are. They've moved up. The front, the 2 randoms have moved in front of the sergeant, who's going to be in base contact. Well, and the other guy. Cassius is going to move up his 6 inches, so he's going to be just by there, yeah, next to the C and the word deck. Go about there. And then the Reavers are going to move up, a pre-measured 6 inches to where this dice is. So Sarge will be in front, and the other 2 will follow behind. So in the shooting phase, Cassius is just within 6 inches of this Poxwalker, and you can see it through a tiny gap in between underneath this guy's armpit. So he's going to throw a frag grenade at the Poxwalkers. So there's a D6 shots, 3 shots hitting on 3s, 2 hits, wounding on 4s, re-rolling 1s.
Yeah, it should be.
2 wounds.
2 wounds, so I get to make my disgustingly resilient. No.
2 Poxwalkers go down.
Get blown away.
That's enough to take away your +1 to hit bonus now.
Yeah.
So of course the Foul Blightspawn is a character, so the aggressors can't shoot at him. So they're going to shoot the Poxwalkers. So we've got 66 hits. So that's going to be 23 hits. So we've got 23 hits. I'll do them in 2 batches. So we've got a batch of 12 first. Wounding on 3s, re-rolling 1s.
Yeah.
And there were 3 1s to re-roll. Oh, and then became wounds. So, and then the next batch of 11, wounding on 3s, re-rolling 1s. So there's another 8 wounds. That's 15 wounds in total.
15 disgusting resilient.
So 15 resilient saves.
15 resilient saves, and
so it's failed 13 of them.
Which is more than there are Poxwalkers.
Yeah, so
in fact, I only made 2, so the Poxwalkers all die.
Yep.
That's unfortunate.
Roasted by the aggressors. And then the Reavers don't have anyone to shoot at. They're just out of pistol range of the... But Cassius will declare a charge at the Foul Blightspawn. He can't actually...
No, you can't see him.
Can't actually see each other because of the crates are in the way. So he needs quite a high roll. He needs about a 10 to get in. So maybe I'll get lucky. No, not with a 5. So that'll be the end of my turn. On to Death Guard turn 2. It's all down to the Foul Blightspawn.
So I've just moved up there. It doesn't matter, because if I fail to kill these aggressors, then Michael wins instantly. So it doesn't really matter where I move, but I've moved there for dramatic effect. I'm going to shoot them.
We've got 2d6 strength.
6, that'll
So,
do.
yeah, toughness 5, so wounding on 3s.
D6 shots, big roll. Oh, 1.
So,
Oh, well, there you go, you win.
yeah,
but never mind, we'll resolve this shot. It wounds.
6+ armor save.
No, and D3 damage. 2, so it kills
So
me.
one of the aggressors goes down.
Yeah. I'm not going to declare a charge because I don't want to get roasted in Overwatch. I can't kill them anyway, I haven't got enough attacks.
Yeah, so the aggressors will be able to have spent an entire battle round. I suppose technically it's to the end of my next turn, but I'm not going to move them.
Yeah, there's no reason why.
So they'll be able to roast the bomb. So that'll be victory for the Space Marines. So we'll recap that for you now. Another quite a difficult mission, I think, for the Death Guard. So those were the missions for issue 12 of Warhammer 40,000 Conquest. How did you think those went?
Well, I didn't roll very well with my Blightspawn.
No, your very terrifying, very scary Viral Spewer wasn't so terrifying.
No, well, I rolled not so well on when shooting at that unit of Reavers, I didn't roll so well on my damage, and then rolled one shot the other 2 times I fired it, which it can wipe out Space Marine squad in one shot shooting phase, or it can roll one shot and do nothing. I'm not sure necessarily that one Foul Blightspawn is... I'm not sure if it's particularly balanced against all of those Space Marines.
No. Especially if you go by the rules, because we know that he has more than one attack and more than one wound. But if you go by the rules as written in the magazine, which I hope they changed, maybe they proofread it in other releases, 1 wound you just get shot by the intercessors or something.
You got 1 wound on him with a crack grenade in that first mission. It would have just been done. That was the end of the mission.
That would have been it. So, yes, he does have 3 melee attacks and 4 wounds.
Yes, it would have been a pretty dull video otherwise.
Although I suppose technically it doesn't tell you what the range of his Viral Spewer is either, so if you assume he has infinite range...
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe it's balanced around that.
It never actually says that it has a 9-inch range or whatever it's supposed to have. Also, perhaps they kind of assume that you're not going to do clever things like hide behind boxes to charge. I mean, we know what we're doing, so we know how to, not game the system as such, but we know how to, within the rules, avoid things like, so charging from behind boxes so you don't get Overwatch. Whereas I suppose if you had all those Space Marines and you just charged at him in the open, then he could potentially mow them down.
Well, my other favourite tactic against the Foul Blightspawn was to charge something he was close to and then pile in such that he would end up in melee as well.
Yeah.
Because if you can get him in melee, he can keep falling back, but as long as you can keep getting him stuck in melee again, he can't fire his weapon, so...
Yeah, he's only of limited use if he doesn't have some kind of screen in front of him, so it's very hard, that first mission where he's just him against everybody. And I tried to keep him so you couldn't trap him in, but it didn't quite
It's very difficult, especially when he's on his own.
Yeah.
And in the second mission...
Well, the second mission is very tricky because you get to move on to the objective. You can advance, as you did, you can advance straight onto it, and then I have to remove you from it instantly. Yeah. And also, it doesn't really make sense for the Death Guard to go first in that... Well, by going first, all I did really was just set myself up for you to shoot me.
Yeah, and I suppose it could, if I hadn't rolled a good advance roll, maybe it could go a bit differently, but the Poxwalkers don't really do well against the aggressors because you can't charge them. They can just roast you and shoot them.
No, and as we saw, a full unit of aggressors can just take out a whole unit in one go. Yeah, so by going first, I moved the Poxwalkers up to be shot by the aggressors who can advance and shoot. And then I had 1 turn to eject you. At least it could have been, you have to hold the thing at the end of the game, perhaps. But
well, it is a bit of an odd mission where you win by others. I mean, technically you don't win by killing just the aggressors, even though they're the only... But if you kill the aggressors, you win.
Yeah. Well, as we mentioned, I think this issue is probably the height of lack of proofreading or poor proofreading. There was many mistakes, and it doesn't feel like the missions were particularly well thought out.
So that was issue 12 of Warhammer 40,000 Conquest. If you like this content, please subscribe and leave a comment and so on. We've been the Tabletop Donkeys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye for now.